Jim Bowden wrote an article in The Athletic about a potential trade for Shohei Ohtani. And we'll go to the phones in a sec, but would you like to hear his specific proposal? Giants and Angels get together on a deal. Now, maybe this is not what it would take, and you're right. We sit here on July 17th, still 2 weeks to go, and maybe he's just talking to the Angels front office. But a specific deal between the Giants and the Angels. You ready for this?
Yeah.
All right. The Giants would get Shohei Ohtani.
I've heard of him.
The Angels would receive Kyle Harrison, Marco Luciano,
Okay.
Luis Matos,
Sure.
Carson Whisenhunt,
That one hurts.
and Grant McCray.
According to MLB, that's prospects numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. According to MLB.com/prospects/Giants, in order, Harrison, Luciano, Matos, Whisenhunt, and McCray. That's your top 5 right there, Mark. All gone.
That's going to be a no from me, dog.
That's a no?
That is going to be a no from me,
Comma dog. That's a yes.
Are you?
It's a yes. Kyle Harrison.
Are you kidding me?
Harrison, 21 years old. Right now showing that he might need a little bit more time in AAA.
Sure.
And he has not been as meteoric in his ascent as we would have thought.
You're poo-pooing.
I'm going through the trade right now,
Kyle
Mark.
Harrison has been dynamically flying through the minor league system
Until?
and is only age 21. Until what? You didn't like his start last week? He's fine.
He's been fine.
He's a little wild. He's 21.
Sure.
Meteoric rise through the system.
So far,
Yeah.
and now he is finding that AAA is a level that he's not able to meteorically surpass. He's going to be in AAA.
I don't know about that.
Probably until September at the
Control
earliest.
problems. Nobody's hitting him. Nobody's hitting him.
Right. Control
Right.
problems.
Yeah.
He's erratic. He's wild.
He's 21.
Sure. Marco Luciano he's been okay. He's
injury,
homer or nothing.
Yeah, injury issues, strikes out too much.
Yeah.
Also, 21.
Sure. But
And Double-A, which
Yeah.
is notoriously a pitcher's league.
Okay.
But continue.
Marco Luciano has been
Yeah.
less explosive and less exciting than
we would have
Luis
hoped.
Matos,
That's
who is
true.
number 3
And is-
on our list. Now, this is the player that I would have the most difficulty parting with because you saw him in AAA. He was incendiary, and he's come to the bigs and shown that the big leagues are not too big for Luis Matos.
When do you remove a player from the prospect list? Like
Super question.
How many games do you have to play? Because I don't like Luis Matos is not their third rated prospect. He's their center fielder.
Right.
That's their center fielder.
Correct.
Okay.
But
So
I think that MLB.com, they go through and they add and they subtract players based on how long they're in the bigs.
yeah, Schmidt has been removed.
Gone.
Schmidt's gone.
And
No longer a
Patrick
prospect.
Bailey is no longer a prospect.
Bailey removed.
So I would imagine that Matos in the near future will also be removed.
Getting close.
Because what's he at? 80 at-bats now in the bigs? Probably darn near.
Matos?
Maybe even closer to 100,
Oh, yeah,
huh?
maybe more.
Yeah. Carson Whisenhunt, he's got the unbelievable changeup, according to scouts. Carson Whisenhunt, he's a great two-pitch pitcher right now at Double-A. He's a guy who I think would project out to be a really good major leaguer. And Grant McCray, I don't know enough about.
He's in high A ball.
Right.
So all of these players are 22 or younger.
Correct, which
So
is why the
they're all
Angels will
flyers.
want him.
Yeah.
So if you look at the 5 of them, and Matos is the one about whom we probably know the most, it would be likely that 2 to 3 of them become regular major league mainstays. That's the general percentage of prospects
It's also,
at this level.
to me, it's worth discussing what position they play. Kyle Harrison and Carson Whisenhunt are high-level left-handed prospects.
Yes.
Those guys are going to the bigs. I don't know if they're going to be great or not.
Right.
Those guys are going to the bigs. Matos already here, and Luciano we've been waiting for, or hearing about, I should say, for 3 years, even though he's still only 21 years old. Grant McCray, okay, whatever. Okay, like I'm sure he's fine. He's in high A ball. He's doing good. You know, he's got kind of ho-hum season going. He's hitting about 250 with 10 home runs and an OPS of about 7.5. Great, whatever, that's fine. 22 years old, you're in high A ball. It's more even just the concept. 5 top prospects for 10 weeks? I mean, I honestly...
It's 10 weeks plus.
I find it to be, honestly, like, this is just for the way I would run a team. I find it to be ridiculous. It's an absolutely laughable offer, if you ask me. And I would say, if I were Shohei's agent, or if I were even Shohei, I don't want to join a team that just gave up its top 5 prospects. I don't want to sign with that team. Like, honestly, Harrison and Whisenhunt should be rotation pieces next year. They should be, if not this year.
Next. Harrison maybe this year. Whisenhunt as a double-A guy, he would be more likely like if you wanted an extra lefty arm, a guy who's got wicked stuff, which he reportedly does have great stuff, he would be more of a September call-up just to have an extra live arm in the bullpen. Harrison, with his control struggles, I won't say control problems, but he struggled with his control, which is limiting his ability to come on and be a starter. You look at Keaton Wynn, who is back in AAA right now. He's come up and performed at the big league level. I think he would be a more bankable solution this year than Kyle Harrison.
Yeah, Harrison walks too many people, there's no doubt. I'm looking at his numbers, though, right now. Just chew on this. The idea that, his ERA is a little out of whack.
Was he mid-4s right now?
Yeah. Actually, 4.79.
Oh, God.
But check this out.
He's got to go.
In 56 innings, this is just at AAA now. 56 innings.
80 strikeouts?
92.
Wait, 92 and 56?
They are dancing. I mean,
that's almost 2 per inning.
Which is absurd.
Normally 1 per inning is considered like, whoa. Yeah. You got some wicked stuff.
At AA, he was at 271, 186 Ks in 113 innings. The dude's got wicked, nasty stuff, and he's 21. You know what I mean? You don't usually give up a player, not even a player like that, for a rental. And you're going to give up 5?
And again, you're portraying this as a rental. And if you thought that this was a rental, you would not do the deal, and it would be laughable. But it's not. It's not necessarily a rental. What it is, it's an entree into getting the inside track on keeping the guy. And that's the only way you would do this trade. So for you to say laughable and 10 weeks and rental, if those things are all true, ironclad facts, then of course you don't do this. But if you believe, as an organization, that you bring the player in and you have a better chance of maintaining that player and signing that player by the very fact that you have him here, and what, Mark, you bring him in and you win the World Series, then maybe you have a real chance to keep him.
Like I just feel like the idea that you're throwing at me now is the same thing people say when they're going to the tables in Vegas. So here's what we're going to do after we go win $1,000 playing blackjack here in a couple hours. We're going to go out on the town, we're going to rent a limo, and we're going to this, that, and the other. 10 minutes later, you're broke. Like, all of the ifs, you're telling me, like, that is the core of your farm system for an if we convince him, and if that even resonates with him, and then if we get to free agency and he still likes it, and if somebody else doesn't get his attention during that free agent period, like, this is you're suggesting an unbelievable gamble.
But you're dealing
and if you're wrong, it is an epic disaster.
Well, you don't know that.
Yes,
because,
I do.
No, Luciano may never make it to the bigs.
That's not
and
the
Whisenhunt
point.
may never play.
I've already said
and we already
though.
know that Grant McCrae is a single A guy.
You're
talking about giant ifs, though.
No, I'm
These
not.
These are ifs.
I'm not. They're assets. That's the fallacy to me, and I see you. Like Ernie Chavez just said, you're acting like they're all starters. No, they're the assets. They're the core of what your flexibility of everything that you do as an organization. We have been sitting here asking for a farm system for 5 years, and now we've got it, and all of you want to give it away for 10 weeks of a couple balls in the bay and a big old maybe.
An asset is only as valuable as what you can get for it. A house is the same thing. So
what do you
if you've got a house, a 4-bedroom house, and it's listed at $2 million, and you sell it for 2.5, well, that house is worth 2.5. Even though the house really isn't worth more than 1.2, you got 2.5 for it.
Yeah.
So for me, these assets are only as good as, right now, what you can get for them.
And people think very highly of these players. I can tell you that.
Well, if they do, then you wouldn't have to trade all 5 of them for a 10-week rental.
Yeah, you would, because it's Ohtani, and that's the point. That's why I don't want to get into this derby. This derby is irrational. It's irrational because the guy is so generational, so iconic, so everything, so unique. He is the greatest thing we've ever seen, and that's what leads to irrational decisions. I don't want 10 weeks of Ohtani. I want 10 years. That's my whole point. And I think we're overvaluing how much these 10 weeks would convince him. That's my take on it. You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco, always live on Twitch, YouTube, and the free Odyssey app. If you were telling me to give up these 5 guys and I could have Ohtani for 10 years, I'll take him. But I don't think that this does that. Let's go to Gus and Tracy here with Willard and Dibs. Hey, Gus, what are you doing? Thanks for calling.
I'm just sitting in my car, just waiting for talk to you guys. Listen, those are big ifs, number one. Number two, I have to go with Willard on this one. There's no way in the world I'm going to give up my top prospect for maybe, 2 months rental. And most likely, he's not even going to want to stay here, so now you lose out on that. And my third point is, he's twice as likely to get hurt because he's a pitcher and he's a hitter and he runs the bases. So those are way too big of ifs. If. I just wouldn't do it, you guys. There's no way I do that. I do it.
Yeah, Gus, let's throw this into the conversation. Thanks for the call. He has left his last 3 starts with finger pain. So those of you
pain.
Those of you who are also thinking, hey, you could get him and you could go win the World Series, or you could give up your center fielder and your catcher,
right?
And he could show up and not be able to pitch. That's also possible.
Or you can hold on to these 5 prospects, and Kyle Harrison can never find the strike zone, and Luciano can never become the hitter that you dreamed that he was going to be, and Carson Whisenhunt, he gets hurt, and Grant McCray never makes it above single A.
Sure, but that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant in the process of trying to sign him. That's totally irrelevant. That's my point.
It's relevant, though, in terms of overvaluing these assets, because these assets are only as valuable as they become if you keep them, or what you can get when you trade them.
Which is a ton.
Well, it depends.
Which is a ton. They're very highly thought of right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
So Kyle Harrison right now, is he more valuable right now than the player he becomes?
No way to know.
You hope not.
No way to know. Yeah.
Now, you hope, because right now he is a super valuable asset. He's a top 20 prospect in the whole league.
Exactly, which is why I reject anyone who's being like, you're acting like he's going to be good for sure. No, I'm not. I'm telling you that right now this is an unbelievable asset, and if you wanted to move him, you better get more than 10 weeks of someone. Just him alone. I'm not moving that guy by himself for 10 weeks of anyone.
Yeah.
Wow, that's just so
the idea is you're not looking at the 10 weeks. You're looking at 10 weeks, which leads to 10 years.
Yeah, I don't think it does. That's where we differ. I know that. I don't think that's going to, he's going to go check out free agency.
Of course he is. But my thinking would be having him here, giving him that chance. It's a little bit like the show 90 Day Fiance, where, you get 90 days and then you figure out if it's keeper, if it's not a keeper, and you hope that the 10 weeks goes so well that when he goes into the open market and you say, hey, Shohei, Dodgers are offering you $550. We're going to give you $550. And you know what, Shohei? Your locker. Remember all those good times we had? You and Webby and Cobby and all the fellas and Brebbia. Remember your time with Brebby?
And he'll look at you and say, I don't understand English. And then the Dodger press conference is the next day. Gabriel in San Francisco with Willard and Dibs. Hey, Gabriel, what are you doing?
Hey, how's it going? I was just forming some beef patties for dinner. But, Willard,
boy.
I just want to say I agree with what you're saying. I think when it comes to a really big name, especially in regards to baseball, with the new shift change rules, I think the small ball is coming back. And to give up our whole farm system for a man like Ohtani, probably not in our best interest. However, when it does get to free agency, I think, yes, we need to make that push to go get him. But I don't see the risk and reward isn't there for right now, the trade.
Totally agree. Yeah, Gabriel, thanks. I just want to address everybody, whether it's YouTube, whether you're listening out there. I am not saying that the value of the top 5 prospects does not equal Ohtani. I'd give my top 10 prospects for Ohtani if I knew I was going to keep him. I'm saying that the top 5 prospects is not worth 10 weeks of Ohtani, which is the only thing that you're guaranteed. And I bet that if each and every one of you searched your own opinions on this, even if you got him, you'd still say it's less than 50-50 that they could keep him. So if that's how you honestly feel, I don't understand how this is honest. I don't even see how this is a conversation if that's what it costs. And we don't, I acknowledge you there.
Right.
I don't know that that's what it's going to cost. This is just Jim Bowden's thoughts on paper.
And 2 weeks from now, I do believe that the price that it's going to cost goes down.
Maybe.
Because the Angels are going to be faced with the reality, which the Angels probably have a 2% chance of keeping him, 98% chance that he leaves.
Oh, after the year?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's even being kind.
Okay, so let's put it at 99 out of 100 times. He's gone. So if you're the Angels and you get closer to the deadline and you realize 99% chance he leaves, you're going to bring down your asking price significantly in terms of the number of prospects. And I do think that if you bring in Shohei Ohtani now, you have a better than 50% chance of re-signing him. If you don't bring Shohei Ohtani in now, if it's just you and he's never been here against the Dodgers and he's never been there, but he lives in L.A., I'd give you a 20 to 80% chance of getting him.
I don't think it's that big of a gap, number one. And number two, whether or not the price comes down in 2 weeks, I think is much more based not on how the Angels play. It's going to be how many teams are on the other end of the phone. Like if there are 10 teams ready to throw prospects for Shohei Ohtani, then the Angels go, pony up, boys.
Right.
That price better go up because I got 9 other offers.
But I wonder about that, and we talked about Tampa before and what other teams out there might be purely in the rental market, because the Giants wouldn't bring him in as a rental. They'd be bringing him in as a rental plus, a rental with hope.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't think that Tampa or whatever other team out there.
I've heard Yankees. I've heard Tampa.
Sure.
I've heard Rangers, although the Rangers might think that they've got an opportunity this offseason. I'm a good manager. Right. I know how to win. Let's go to Mike in Santa Clara. Hey, Mike.
I missed that. I needed it.
You're on with Willard and Dibs. What are you doing, Mike?
What's up, guys? I actually just got back from the PGA store getting my clubs re-extended. So, yep, I know. The drop. No, it was my birthday yesterday, and we played over at the Ritz-Carlton over in Half Moon Bay. So, not a bad day. Yep, there's the drop.
Look at you, Mike. Good job on whatever it is you did to become a billionaire. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so regarding all this, man, you guys made some, it was in a way when I was calling in, I was like, man, you guys hit a lot of points that I was concerned about. And I think it was also Gus from Tracy that said it. Do we really want to give up that many prospects for, let's say, a 1 year with a second year option with all that money and then just letting our farm system go? Look, I have no problem letting the farm system go. But is it really worth it? Do we really think that we're going to make a World Series in the next 2 years? That's, difficult to say. This year, I don't know. Next year, I don't know. And it depends if, Ohtani ends up, opting in. The problem is, though, I have no problem giving and as much as I love Wisenhunt and McCrary, those would be the guys that I would want to get, I would be okay with getting rid of in the trade. I cannot say yes to Harrison and especially Luciano. I can't do it. And Matos, I love Matos. I'm just a boy band favorite, if you want to say, with him. I love the guy. I just can't really say that I can get rid of him. It's just more of can we get him or some minor prospects with, letting go of Wisenhunt and then also McCrary. I mean, I don't know, but I can't give up like our top 5 prospects. It's not worth it.
Yeah, Mike, thanks. By the way, it's McCray, not McCrary, which is sort of like belies the point. Like some of us, we don't even know his name. But maybe this would help. What if I pitched it to you a different way? Remove the names. I don't care who the names are. I'm not giving the top 5 people in my farm system, whoever they are, for 10 weeks of a player.
Yeah.
I don't care if that
you're stuck on the 10 weeks part.
Yes.
Because that's the only guarantee. But you're also...
It's even the only probability.
But you're also putting probability on these top 5 prospects, and we're not going to use the names. You are.
I reject that.
No, I reject your notion of the 10 weeks because I'm not doing it. And Shohei Ohtani is a much better asset,
that
even
you
for
won't
10
have.
weeks.
You will control nothing in November.
You'll control in August and September, and hopefully there's an October.
That'd be great.
And beyond that, so you have a known commodity for 10 weeks for sure versus 5 gigantic question marks about whom we know virtually nothing.
Right.
Other than the future.
But they're also assets that I can turn into all kinds of things because none of them have had a 23rd birthday yet. It's just... to me, it's just bad business. It's just bad. And wouldn't you predict, forget the whole conversation we've had so far. Don't you think Farhan's not doing this?
Odds are.
You're not doing this.
You know why? You want me to tell you in 0 words?
Do your Cadbury cream egg commercial.